Welcome, everybody. Happy 2021. We're so excited to start our weekly webinars. This is the first week of the month, first week of the year. So it's the first time we're seeing each other since the holidays. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed their holiday and is ready to get their thinking caps on and start taking notes. We're going to be doing our fabulous webinar here with our founder and CEO of Soul Naturals, Greg Halliday. And we are so excited to share some time with him as usual. But we'd like to start this week with our testimonial. And we are going to turn the time over to Joanne Riggs, who's going to share her story.
Oh my, well, about 2 weeks ago, I had an accident and fractured a rib. And it was very, very painful, but I used the AC cream and I used the Solleflex PI, and I did all 4 of the drinks. And so I think that in 2 weeks' time with fractured rib, and I'm up and going and moving, that I'm doing pretty good. So I'm very impressed with the products at this point.
That's awesome, Joanne. Did you have any swelling or bruising with that? I'm sure you did.
I had a lot of bruising with it.
And did the
and that
AC
went
cream
away
help?
very quickly too.
Yes.
And the AC cream has got a lot to do with that. I really like that. And I really like the Solleflex PI too. And I found that I took more than what was suggested with that. Mm-hmm. I would take like 3 at a time, and I'd do that 3 or 4 times a day. And I really think that to be as well as I am in 2 weeks' time, I've done really well.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy to hear it. Not happy that you had an accident, but very happy to know that it has helped you recover so quickly. I will tell you very quickly, my personal testimonial, I tore my Achilles tendon about 5.5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. And I remember having to have surgery. And the first 10 days, you're not weight bearing, but all I could do was take my herbs and use that. And then as soon as they released all the stitches and took me out of the soft cast that I was in, I started using the AC cream in addition to everything else that I was taking. And I remember that when the doctor removed the soft cast, he could not believe that there was no swelling and hardly any bruising to my foot because of the product. And then when I went back to see him a week later, all the bruising was gone. And he said, looks like you're going to be able to start physical therapy. So when I started physical therapy, the physical therapist really was the one who was so amazed that she touched the Achilles and helped me work through certain exercises and such. She just looked at me and just would say, this is amazing. What cream is that? And I remember she purchased probably about 5 or 6 tubes from me and then started recommending it to all of her other patients. So I really do appreciate you sharing that story.
You're quite welcome. When I first had the accident, I couldn't even get up by myself, not even from a sitting position. There was that much pain. So I feel very blessed and very fortunate that I'm where I am today.
That's awesome. Again, thanks for sharing that story. That's amazing. I mean, the products are awesome. And I think what makes them so awesome is the fact that everything at Soul has adaptogenic herbs in it. So that is the testimonial that we wanted to share with you this week. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite products, which is PowerCHI. And PowerCHI is a very curious product, because when you think of chi, you think of energy, right? The Chinese word chi, or you think of how energy moves through the body. And this product is in the lift category. You'll notice by the red label. Greg will show us that in a minute when he goes through his slides. This product doesn't just regulate metabolism, doesn't just help metabolism. Most people think metabolism and think weight loss. Well, certainly that's part of it, right? But Greg is going to explain to us how you can have cerebral or mental metabolism effects through this product, as well as helping us physically. So to explain a little bit more about PowerCHI, its components, and how it can work in our bodies to make us more efficient energy machines. We will turn the time over to our dear friend and, like as I said, president and one of the founders of Soul Naturals, Mr. Greg Halliday. Thanks for being with us today, Greg.
Thank you, Deb, and good to see everybody here. Hope you had a good start to your new year. Lots of things going on, but lots of good things ahead. And I'm sorry to hear that, Joanne, but I'm glad to hear that you're feeling so much better.
Thank you.
I'm like you, I kind of just listen to the body on how much I use of the SoulFlex PI, and with something traumatic, yeah, you pretty much can use the level that gets results. The product's very safe that way. So
That's
I'm
good.
glad you were able to do that.
Appreciate it.
And so is your pain down to
My
the
pain is now
lower?
almost zero.
No, oh, well, that's great. Awesome.
In 2
Ribs.
weeks, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you maybe, I don't know what your accident was, but maybe consider giving up boxing
I'm just,
for a
I'm
little
just
bit.
accident prone. I fell down steps. That's no big deal.
Yeah. Well, that makes two of them.
Nothing, you know.
My mom likes to
I just
remind
fell
everyone
down
that,
some steps and I hit my rib on a
oh,
big metal thing that's sitting there. So
oh,
that broke the rib.
yeah. Well, Joanne, we're both, the accidents, they sometimes come. I can relate. I'm glad you're doing better. Well, let me
I
share my
am, thank
screen.
you.
You betcha. Let me share my screen, and I'll show you a presentation that I really appreciated by Dr. Caldwell Andrews. I know a couple of you are newer here today. If you don't know Dr. Caldwell Andrews, her name's Allison. She lives now in Virginia because she's faculty at a university. She's a clinical psychologist who's also an herbalist. She did her postdoctorate at Yale, and she spent 10 years. I'm not sure Yale calls it the Yale Medical Center, but it's their hospital there at the university. Lots of experience working on the connection between the physical and emotional and how that affects healing, and in a number of ways helping people. So when she heard about Soul through a mutual friend, she was really interested in what Debbie mentioned. And for those that are newer, every single product of Soul has nutrition known to balance physical processes and the corollary emotional. And that's what's unique. To some extent, all herbs have that in them, or I should say all herbs that are safe. We tend to focus more on herbs that are safe for daily use. There are some you could take for a short period of time if you don't take them too long. And particularly in adaptogenic herbs. And I'll mention that for a second. But PowerCHI, I'm kind of jumping to the ingredients. You can see it's got a pretty good list. And since I know all of you have been so, for so long involved in helping others with natural health, you probably recognize every single one of these except maybe the probiotic strain. That might be new to a couple of you, the Propionum bacterium freudenreichii, crazy long name. That was new to us as well, brought to us by Dr. Caldwell Andrews. But before we jump into it, can I just draw your attention to the label? Just for a second, look at the PowerCHI label and the red Chinese character on it. I love to explain this, and I think today the way I'd like to do it is just leave it as food for thought. That's the character for qi, which Debbie already described what qi is, and most of us are pretty familiar. Sometimes people call it qi and pronounce it different ways, but we usually say qi. It's actually a combination of two different characters in their language. The top part, if you can see my little arrow, this part at the top, and then there's a little tail that goes down. That's one character. So it's like this part. And then this one right here inside is a separate character. This is the character for rice. And this is the character for, a loose translation would be like energy flow, like what's unseen. So you sort of have qi as the combination or the combining of, at least this is the way I like to look at it, based on the characters they use. The importance of nutrition, nourishing the physical, and the energetic, or let's call it emotional and spiritual, that which is not physical, but needs physical connection to be expressed. So it's really an interesting word to me. And this product is focused as a very concentrated tool, nutritional tool, to change the way metabolism happens in us and to change the way mental acuity, alertness, strength, to say it in a word, to change the way that is on a daily level for us. I'm sorry if it's kind of hard to always pick the exact word, so I'm going to jump into the presentation. But that's the framework for it. All of these things play important roles in this. So apple cider vinegar and ashwagandha, coleus forscoli, and etc. We're just going to go down the list a little bit, okay? Why is apple cider vinegar? It's actually the number 2 ingredient. Now, number 1, I want to make sure it's on there, is this yerba mate, the third from the bottom. It just in terms of quantity of percentage of the formula. Why is yerba mate number 1? Why is apple cider vinegar number 2? I hope I can answer that as I show you the slides, okay? But apple cider vinegar, I'm pretty certain every single one of you has pretty lengthy experience, both perhaps using apple cider vinegar yourself or sharing and teaching. Does anybody not? Because you probably could teach a class to me on it. So I'm not going to say too much about it, except there are a few reasons we included it in this formula. And honestly, the overall reason is basically we think almost everyone needs it. It solves so many issues to do with digestive process and how we gather and convert nutrition into energy based on the weaknesses of our society today. Lots of processed foods, lots of acidic foods, lots of sugar, lots of stress, chemicals, electromagnetic, just all the things that tax the body's system. There's our body's central system of creating this energy flow. So let me just pause for a second. So PowerCHI is about providing all that necessary resource to the body so that we not only meet the energy needs we have in a day, mentally, emotionally, physically, because it all burns energy. It all requires a strong metabolism. It's actually designed to be a little above that. So you gotta try to take this one capsule at a time. Like start with 1 or 2 and see how your body feels. The dose is 4. A lot of people will start right there. It just depends on where you're at and what other products you're taking. In my case, I only need 2 because I'm taking so much of the rest of the product line. But the point is with this product is to give you everything you need mentally and physically plus a little extra, because the little extra is what's going to fix things. The little extra is the kind of the impetus behind changing our level of energy kind of on that resting level. So we talk about resting metabolic rate being the most key in body processes and in health, because we can drive our metabolism up kind of artificially, or we can change how efficient our metabolism is at a resting state and make a lot more difference in our health. This is about giving you enough to make the change, okay? It's designed that way. It's more concentrated. So we start with the yerba mate and the apple cider vinegar. You can see what it does in terms of the way our body processes fats and protects that, and the way the body keeps at a minimum all sorts of microbes we don't like. We don't need that tax the system from, boy, the studies show just a variety of pathogens that apple cider vinegar will just get rid of. It deals with how good we are at processing blood sugar, at just blood sugar levels, managing that, how resistant we are to what the pancreas does for us. Again, back to my comment of us being more efficient, not having to exert so much energy. So that's the apple cider vinegar. Ashwagandha is in here because we have so much in this formula that elevates and boosts. We don't ever want that to move to a point where it sacrifices that calmness, that centered feeling. We don't want it ever to turn to jittery. And the ingredients in here won't do that. Though in some people, they can, if they take enough of this, it's like, I just want to keep working or doing whatever I was doing late into the evening, and it's too much for me. I want to sleep. Ashwagandha's in here to make sure that you can keep a balance through all this. So we like to remind ourselves, ashwagandha is calming, but it's not a sedative. It's an adaptogen. It's wonderful at peripheral inflammation. And look at the various things on the slides that it does, okay? I'm assuming a lot of people are familiar with ashwagandha. There are lots of studies, both with humans and animals, about inflammation and ashwagandha, about the body being more efficient, converting energy into healthy muscle, which we need to change our metabolic rate in resting. If we don't have to be a bodybuilder, but if we can improve our percentage of muscle to fat, that changes your metabolic rate. There's a lot with obesity, and then you can these are just various studies not carried out by Solle, but cited by Dr. Allison, okay? Third ingredient is related to the way we use fat. Is everyone familiar with Coleus forskolai? It's actually yet another amazing herb from the mint family. I mean, the mint family is chock full of life-changing plants. And this is part of Ayurvedic medicine. The studies focus around metabolism, and unfortunately, I mean, I say it's unfortunately because I don't know, it turns into somebody's magic pill for weight loss, because what they've done, natural companies have taken this Coleus forskolai, they found the active component or one of them, and they simply extract the active component out and concentrate it up, and they sell it. It's natural, it's all this, and it's super altered. But these are the things people notice, okay? Bone density goes up, blood lipids improve, asthma improves. These happen because of various active components in Coleus. What they're taking out, I think I kind of explained that wrong. What they're taking out is the component that deals with how our body burns fat, because we're kind of in love with that, and that's this enzyme, or it's this component that activates it. The CMAMP, cyclic adenosine monophosphate, increases your rate of burning fat, regulates the way we store sugars, fats, and the metabolism, and it involves the way hormones are involved in the process. So people talk about Coleus forskolai as a fat burner, but it's much more than that. As you look from this first slide, it deals with the strength of bone density and structure, deals with how our body responds to stress and inflammation and oxygenation. So we love Coleus. Now green tea is in here too. It's a very small amount of green tea, and it's actually a particular extract. We didn't need much, and I will tell you why we included it for this aspect. This is, to me, the most famous part of green tea is this, I'm not going to try to pronounce the EGCG is the acronym, but that is why people will drink green tea. There are probably other reasons, but the main reason is the EGCG as an antioxidant. It's wonderful for a lot of reasons, and you can see that with the green tea, these are what the studies show. It's protective, and it does change and help the way we metabolize sugars and fats. Nopal is a part of Cinnamate. Nopal is amazing. It's the example I like to use when I try to explain for the first time to someone what an adaptogen is. Because one of the qualities of an adaptogen is active components on both sides of imbalance. And Nopal is a perfect example. Dr. Mary Fernandez, San Diego, she's the doctor that showed Nopal has components that lower blood sugar. Nopal also has components that raise it or that result in it rising. And we think in our Western medicine dominated, sort of clinical dominated society, then they cancel each other out. Not in the least. There are nutrients there that the body can uptake where it needs. And that's why people with hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, benefit from Nepal, and hyper or diabetes on the path to diabetes also equally benefit because Nepal is an adaptogenic. And in addition to that, it is incredibly nutritious. Lots of vitamins, minerals, etc. in Nepal, a great number. So that's why Nepal's in PowerCHI, because that management process is absolutely key and is one of our top 3 health problems, right, in the US, if not number 1. Because of why? The way we eat, lifestyle, stress, etc. I wish we could always impress on people it's not about them and their weaknesses. It's about things that are part of our culture and society that we can actually adjust and make a difference. And blood sugar is one. It sounds really bad that I say this, but when people say they have blood sugar issues and they talk to us, I will usually start smiling because not because I'm happy that they have those challenges, because I've had them, but because I know they're very manageable. They really, really are. The list is way too long for me to mention with Cinnamate. This is another good one because we have some of the ingredients. And you can see some of the things.
All into check-in, please.
Hang on just one sec. So the next ingredient, sorry, I'm just jumping ahead here. The next part of Nopal, heart benefits, you'll find these common of all adaptogens, truthfully, but they all have sort of emphasis. And look at this one right here in terms of metabolic syndrome patients. So Nopal is going to benefit heart, it's going to benefit pancreas, it's going to benefit digestion, and so many other things, all of it which is necessary if we're going to change our metabolism. This is the strain I told you that's a strange strain. It's only strange because it's not super commonly taught here in the US. German researchers, common in Swiss cheese. That is not where ours comes from, but it's commonly used there. Look what it produces in the colon. When you have a good colony, short chain fatty acids, CLA, it produces all these things. And that's one of my favorite things to remind all of us is that probiotics are the source of a lot of essential and vital vitamins. When we don't have them, we don't get those vitamins. And that's where we try to make up in other ways, or our body does, and we have issues. This is the first one that we're aware of. This is Dr. Allison's really bringing this to the company, that in at least 2 countries in Europe, Germany and England, I believe England is the other one. I know Germany's one. It's listed as a nutritionally significant source of vitamin B12. So this, yes, I can go out and buy vitamin B12. It's fairly expensive. It's not one of the cheapest. Or I can set up a B12 factory in my system. That's what this does. Now I need to keep that in mind. That's why we have apple cider vinegar and other things in the formula, so that we can nourish and keep a healthy flora. But it is also dependent on the strains that you have. Not just any strain. In fact, I don't know of another strain that produces B12 in a significant level. There probably is one, but not in a significant level. Also, you can see the other 2 B vitamins. PowerCHI is very heat resistant, doesn't need to be refrigerated. In case you're wondering, that's why it can be in this formula. It also is very good at grabbing space in the colon and colonizing, and it therefore also replaces bad bacteria because it can crowd them out more effectively. And there are several studies that show if you have this strain in your gut, other strains will grow better. And the studies will mention which strains those are, but it is quite symbiotic. Beets. We're all familiar with beets. Why is it here? Well, one of the best ways to detox, make sure you drink enough water, you have fiber, and you need to have bile, a healthy liver. When those three things exist, your body's natural processes can do their job, right? So beets are wonderful in helping with this. Beetroot, we have 2 forms of it in PowerCHI. We have the powder, a high quality beetroot powder, red beetroot powder. We also have an extract, a concentrated extract. Both of these have several purposes, and you can see, for instance, Glutathione. There's a lot of talk about ingredients. You'll notice that some of you that might be newer to these classes, we're very much a believer in versus buying these components separately, which you can buy on the market, but is in using a natural source of them where cofactors exist. That is why, generally speaking, people can get a result with fewer capsules and in less time with Solle, because we use the natural sources, but we also concentrate them up. But we don't just pull out an ingredient, we concentrate the whole thing. And that's what we've done with beets. So you can see these are some of the things that beets bring to us. In general, better lymph flow, better bile flow, better circulation, opening up pathways that tend to close because of stress and diet, blood pressure improving. And I think, I'm not sure if it's on a slide here. Yeah, here's the slide. This is the big reason. This is the reason we put it in PowerCHI. So I'm going to make a statement. Maybe everyone agrees with this. I don't know. I, over the years, have become convinced of two things. One is that almost everyone walks around a little bit dehydrated. I just am convinced of this. We just don't drink enough water because we substitute out, or we just don't drink enough. And just a little more water, pure water, makes such a huge difference to our body. That's one thing. The other one that I'm going to add, which I guess is related to it, is a little bit oxygen starved. The processes of the body metabolism that are anaerobic produce side effects that produce soreness. The processes that are aerobic, much less. So our point in red beetroot is to make a difference with how our body's ability to bring oxygen. And that's back to Debbie's comment at the start about changing the way the brain is able to function, clarity of thought, strength of thought, openness of thought. That's why you'll have people, one of the slides at the start that Dr. Allison put is improve your creativity. And creative thought being letting us form solutions to challenges. It's not just like creative, I can paint better, even though clearly creative thought where we're engendering, it is dependent on good health, lots of water, lots of oxygen, and an efficient metabolism, lots of energy. To get that, we have to eat really dense, right? And this is super dense in nutrition. Yerba mate has almost 200 known vitamins, minerals, plant compounds that are proven to be beneficial. Almost 200. I think it's like 180 something. Nopal's 100 and some odd. Beets are very high. We can go down the list here. It's a highly nutritious capsule, and it also has these great components like beetroot. Look what else about beetroot. High in B vitamins. Maybe you all knew this. I was thinking of you on this one, Joanne. I was thinking of you with this product too, with calcium, iron, etc. That beets are really high in. Plus, with the Freudenreichii, the strain of Freudenreichii, we absorb calcium and retain it better if we have K2, right, in our diet. I didn't mention this on the slide. Dr. Allison didn't put it on this slide, but you're going to hear more about it later this month as we introduce a new product. Again, addressing how our body produces calcium, strengthens bones, and strengthens our structural. And one of the interesting points is Propionum bacterium, which is in this PowerCHI, produces significant, in fact, in the research we could see, it was number 2 among all the strains of probiotics for producing K2, which body needs in order to hold on to calcium that comes from the diet. So not only do we provide a lot of calcium, but we actually have the cofactors here. So beets are a big part of, I guess that's a beet cake. I have no idea why we have a piece of cake there. Must be one of a red beet cake. There's also rooibos. If you haven't heard of that, South Africa grown. It's considered a probable adaptogen. We would say, yes, it absolutely is. Lots of studies with rooibos, with inflammation, with the way that the body, you can see even kidney health, rooibos helps in, with the way the body deals with sugars, and also metabolism. In fact, one of the famous things of rooibos is, again, it becomes grabbed for that weight loss category because it's so good at modulating metabolism. And then I mentioned yerba mate already. yerba mate is a clear winner, energy, focus, attention, and just sometimes we get the question, do you take a multivitamin? I haven't found any multivitamin that's anything close to 200 components that yerba mate has. Nothing close. And then you throw in nopal and these other things that we've got in here. And this is the way I take my multivitamins. So you have all of these things. Now, I'm going to stop the presentation here because she goes on. There's a program that Debbie can tell you about where you use the PowerCHI as part of it. And honestly, the program is super simple. It's the 4th month of the Change Your Health in 4 month. If you have that brochure, you've spent this time boosting your system for a month, cleaning it out and clarifying for 2 more months. And then in the 4th month, you come with this great PowerCHI package, which really is about a super dense nutrition in the morning, combining 2 or 3 Solle products that are like more macro nutrition. And then you use this PowerCHI that I spent my time on today. You use PowerCHI throughout the day to modulate cravings and to actually get in there and work on the body's metabolic system. It can be whatever amount of capsules works for you throughout the day. And then at night, you use Renew and Vertizymes in this package program to calm, restore the proteolytic enzymes to purify and rebuild. And so it's a really complete package that really uses this product sort of as its power cell. But I hope I've explained today that it's a lot more than a power cell. It's not just, PowerCHI, all about energy. It's actually about the change so your body can produce its own energy much better. And it needs a lot of change. We all need a lot of change based on a lot of years of, kind of where we've come from. Not necessarily maybe our choices, maybe not, just society, culture. We all need some time and a whole lot of really robust ingredients to really make a change where at a resting state, this is where our body goes. It just doesn't just happen. So anyway, Deb, I hope that was helpful. I'll turn it back to you.
That was perfect. That was amazing. You actually covered a few points that you made me think why I love PowerCHI so much. And if you were all paying attention and you looked at the beets in that formula, I think that's why it works so well with people who want to add it to, who use actually the 4th month of the program for weight loss as well as good nutrition, because beets has a quality, well, everything in PowerCHI has the quality to provide the nutrition that the body needs. And I think when we look at our teenagers, especially teenage girls who struggle with body image and we're shamed by so many people in society right now, when people want to go on a diet or do something more healthy, they tend to limit what they eat. They don't eat the things that are right for them. And that's why people have such low energy and they can't maintain a good weight loss because they're not eating properly. And that's what I love about PowerCHI is it's not a formula that's going to overstimulate your body and elevate metabolism that way. It helps your body function on a cellular level to maintain the right amount of energy for your body to do its work without suffering. And what I love that you've done in all of our products, and what I love so much for those of you who haven't seen this brochure yet, guess what? I just ordered some new ones in English and Spanish. So if you don't have any, just contact me, send me a message. But what I love about this program, Greg, is that when you combine the PowerCHI with the Solle Complete and the Thrive or the Avant Greens now, you really are setting up the body for some amazing nutrition to maintain energy and not feel fatigued. That's part of the problem when people start to change their diet and really don't know what they're doing. They start to suffer fatigue. PowerCHI is going to help the body overcome that fatigue that really sets in when people are not eating right. So that's what I love about the 4-month program, how you mentioned is that we start with a balancing and then we do some cleansing and then some deeper cleansing. And by the 4th month, the body really is ready for some great nutrition. And you have all of those components in that 4th month of great nutrition because of everything that's in there. I love the yerba mate. I love the rooibos in there. You know, some people are really set on having rooibos tea for that same reason that they drink green tea. You don't have to do that with PowerCHI. You just take the 4 capsules. I'm one of those people who did the study when we launched this product. And the benefit that I loved was that it gave me the energy that I needed to just function daily. The added benefit, and I say this added benefit because this is not the purpose of this program. The added benefit was that I actually lost 8 pounds, and 8 pounds isn't a lot in 2 months. What was amazing was the way my body changed, because it helped my body become a better fat burning machine. And so it wasn't 8 pounds that I lost. I lost like 2 dress sizes, which is incredible with 8 pounds, because your body actually conforms and helps burn the fat. So I wanted to throw that in there because that's an added benefit. I don't want people to think of this as a weight loss program. It certainly can help you do that. Like I said, that's an added benefit. But when your body is given the right nutrition, your body will know exactly what to do and how to do it.
So Deb, those are really good points. I mean, 2 really good points you made me think of. When you mentioned about, like, to boost metabolism, what we do in our society is we do a stimulant. And what's great is it's really easy to see what you said with this, because the telltale sign is a crash, right? If it's a stimulant, because I like the way you said it, they're not eating right. So we just push a stimulant to like burn more, but we're not eating right. And that's why the crash. So the difference on this one is you won't notice there's no crash. That's the telltale sign. That's why I like to tell people, look, just try it. You won't, that's what you'll notice is what you just said, greatly elevated energy with no crashes. What happens is you just use it up over time, but there's not a crash, there's just, it's time to eat. Whereas with a stimulant, a classic stimulant, there is a crash involved where you feel lower, and they've proven that in science, where you dip below the normal. And the same thing is with mood, depression, or stress. So, yeah.
Well, and not only that, I mean, people, when they crash, what do? They tend to overeat to bring that blood sugar back up. And that's what I love about the PowerCHI formula, Greg, is that I know that I take it in the morning with my NeuroIM and a couple of other things. Then in the afternoon, I take my Soul Megas. And then I might do, some of my other drinks. But I've noticed that as I've become more consistent with using the PowerCHI, I can go more hours without picking or feeling that anxiety to eat something sweet. I eat them. I'm human. I'm 61. I think I deserve the right to have something. But I really love that when I weighed myself this morning, I've actually dropped another ½ pound. And so, it just allows me to do the little things that I enjoy without taking away anything from my body and how it's supposed to function. But I love that. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing knowledge, Greg. I've asked—
Good to be here.
Thank you so much. I've asked Gwen to give us a just short testimonial on how she shares Soul. Lately, she's been really active with Soul, and I'm so glad to have her on our team. And Gwen, would you mind opening your microphone and just give us in 1 minute how you're sharing Soul and what you're finding so easy about it?
Yes. The easy thing, thank you. I'm sorry. Earlier when you asked me, I didn't know that my mic was not open. I do that on Wednesday nights for Lydia. Every time she speaks to me, I talk to her, but she cannot hear me. Anyway, what I love about the team now is that we have this brochure. Oh my goodness, this brochure, the entire system that we're using to inform people about Soul and the benefits, the health benefits, is super easy, because all you do is you give them the brochure, and then you call and you ask them 2 questions. And depending on what the answer is, that's how you start to work with them. It's super duplicatable. Anyone can duplicate it, because you don't have to know 25 or 30 years of information on how to help people heal. You can just use the brochure and the beautiful videos and other written material that we have just to help people. it's a phenomenal system, so easy to use. I think
That's
it's great.
awesome.
Great for helping people. You know, I've always wanted something like this because the first time, you know, this is my second time in Solle. So when I signed up the first time, you know, I didn't know how to get started, and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. But this time we have this brochure, and this is like, you give it to people. At first they look at it, maybe they are not, you know, used to invest. They don't understand how they've been investing their money in their health and not getting a result. So once they think about it and they look at the brochure, they think, I'm investing this money already, going to the doctor all the time and having these different, not surgeries all the time, but having different issues. I could be investing this in my health and it would be improving and not going down. So it's just so simple and concise. I love this brochure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Gwen. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to let everybody know that we do have more brochures available. I just placed the order today. So I'll be getting 2,000, I think, in Spanish and 1,000 in English. So if you have the need, just send me a quick message via WhatsApp or send me a text and I'll let you know how much they are. I have a strong testimony about having a system. And if you have not participated in Lydia's classes, I urge you to do it. Send me a message. We'll get you going. She does have a class tonight, is Wednesday. So she has a class tonight. So if you wanted to join in, the class is in English, it's later, and then she has one in Spanish as well. So send me the information. If now's not the right time for you to enroll in the class, she will do one more. Don't wait too long, but in the meantime, I can help you with these brochures. I can help you how to explain it. But thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you to all of you. I know our class went way longer today than it normally does. It's good to see all of you. Happy New Year to you. Thank you, Maria, for joining us for the first time. I'm so glad I saw my friend Veronica on here and I didn't get a chance to say hello before she popped off. She is a realtor. She's a single mom, and she also does an herbal business. And we're excited to have her start as a member of our team. All of you are part of our team. So we're so happy to have all of you. Thank you, everybody. I will be sending this recording to you via WhatsApp, or also if you're in the text group. I know some prefer to get it via text, some like it via email, and some appreciate the WhatsApp. So I do whatever you guys need. And I sure love you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great week.
Bye.